Hi everyone. Welcome back. Haven't seen many of you since our winter break, and I'm back to spend some time with you preparing for the implementation of the new Educator Effectiveness system for next year. Obviously, the winter weather we've had and the change in the school calendar, as well as the work I've been doing on the referendum, has really resulted in me spending time on some other efforts, so I hope you understand why there's been a bit of a delay in this next video. But we're ready to start, so we'll get going. I share a quote with you that really struck home with me. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And I think we're really trying to do that this year. We're really building your knowledge and understanding of the new Educator Effectiveness system. We're not fighting to keep an old system. We're just working to prepare you for the implementation. And again, the new system truly is designed to improve support for you, improve your practice, and ultimately improve student outcomes. I want to share with you that I did pass both of my certification tests over the winter break, which allows me to be certified to evaluate teachers. And to be honest, that it was a relief, but it's also, I think, a really good feature of this new evaluation system. The idea that administrators have to be trained and certified to conduct evaluations should create a higher degree of confidence in this system for you. So in the past, the evaluations by administrators were never really scored or calibrated. So there wasn't any certainty that a principal in one building was evaluating in the same manner as a principal in another. So having common language and being clear on what we're looking for, what quality instruction looks like, it exists now. So there's consistencies, there's clear and specific descriptions on what we want to see happening in every classroom, and that's not only within our district but around the state. And there's no question that that is more fair to you as an educator. DPI recently sent out a flow chart for identifying the teachers who should be evaluated using the Wisconsin Educator Effectiveness System. We talked earlier this year about how the administrative team would be making a decision on this for the district, and we have made that decision. So you can see on this slide the school district professional staff that will not be evaluated, initially at least, using the Educator Effectiveness System. We've decided only to use the Educator Effectiveness System for teachers whom we're required to, especially since this first year we're going to have a high learning curve. So as you look at the list, you can see our school social workers, psychologists, counselors, our speech language pathologists, our school nurse, physical and occupational therapists, the TAG teachers, special ed teachers, all of them from learning disabled to EBD and everything in between. Our library media specialists, Title I teachers, our PBIS teachers, the dean of students, the tech integration specialists, and our RTI specialist. None of those individuals, if you're one of those folks, you are not going to be evaluated using Educator Effectiveness. However, we are going to ask that you do create SLOs and PPGs just like all of the staff who are doing that. Now, do you remember what an SLO and a PPG is? Let's see, it's been a while since we've used those acronyms. SLO stands for Student Learning Objectives. PPG, say it with me, Personal Professional Goals. Good job. The administrative team has also created some tools to provide you with a sense of what needs to happen during the 3-year cycle, which culminates with a summative evaluation. If you look at this chart, you can see that each year you will be completing the self-assessment and developing an educator effectiveness plan, which includes your SLOs and PPGs. You will only meet with your building principal during the summative year to review your EEP, hold your mid-year conference, and your final evaluation conference. However, the expectation exists that you'll have a planning session, a mid-year review, and a final evaluation conference in the off years with a peer or colleague. We believe that you will find that as grade level teachers or departments, you'll want to collaborate to develop your SLOs and PPGs because they probably will be similar, and they'll also be reflective of school learning objectives. So having a planning session on an Educator Effectiveness Plan, the EEP, with a peer should be valuable and useful. And we're looking at that becoming one of the requirements that we actually build into our first collaboration day. The same is true for the mid-year goal review and the final evaluation conference. Building these activities into our collaboration time makes sense, especially since you're looking at student data and performance at those times also. We envision that this will result in having even deeper, more relevant conversations about student achievement and your professional practice. As you continue to examine this chart, you'll note that both formal observations will occur during the summative year along with 3 walkthroughs. Again, during the off years, you should anticipate at least 1 walkthrough by your building principal. In year 1, we're going to encourage you to log into TeachScape and put into it the documentation for Domain 1 of Charlotte Danielson's model, Planning and Prep. In year 2, you should focus on Domain 4, Professional Responsibilities, and then in the summative year, the focus will be on Domains 2 and 3, Classroom Environment and Instruction. And actually, that will be a big piece that your building principal plays, because those are the areas where we will collect documentation from classroom observations. What we're trying to do is create a plan in our district which will spread your workload out over the 3 years, and it won't be as great a burden in that summative year for you. And we need to do this also for our building principals because they are going to have increased responsibilities due to this new model. We've also created a chart of artifacts which we believe will be useful to you. These are the materials you can download and place into TeachScape to document your work and efforts. We've tried to identify artifacts for each of the domains, recognizing that some artifacts could probably fit into more than one area. We'll continue to add to this list as you identify other artifacts which may also be used. One of the things that you should note, we are going to limit you to no more than 2 artifacts for any of the 22 components. We would encourage you to pick the best representative samples you have and use those. So I know you have lots of questions about TeachScape, and you've been wondering when can you start looking at what this platform entails. We're going to start with a 4-minute video which introduces you to the TeachScape team, the people that specifically are working on getting Wisconsin on board with the TeachScape instrument. So sit back and enjoy their sense of humor. Welcome back. This is the home page through which each of you will enter TeachScape. As you can see, you will have 3 programs that you have access to: TeachScape Focus, TeachScape Reflect, and TeachScape Learn. In the next video that's prepared for you, I'll try to go into more depth on each of these tools. But quickly, the TeachScape Focus, that's the tool that you'll use for online training. It prepares you for the observations, the professional conversations you will be having, and it gives you ideas on how to become more reflective as a practitioner. TeachScape Learn provides engaging learning content through video libraries, video capture tools, online communities, and a learning management system to track your professional development. And TeachScape Reflection is the observation and evaluation management system. This is where you'll download your artifacts, and formal and informal observations will be recorded. Now, there's a ton of information available on the DPI website in regard to each of these tools, so feel free to explore that. And again, I'll do my best to sort through all these resources and in the next video give you a broader understanding of the tools. Just so you know, Sheila Butzler is currently working on a spreadsheet from DPI that will be used to get each of you who will be evaluated using Educator Effectiveness access to the TeachScape platform. We hope that we'll have access for you prior to the end of the school year. And as I've mentioned before, our curriculum leaders do currently have a license for TeachScape, so you can ask them to open up their account to take a look at what the platform contains. Also, Teresa Payne and Renee Stroh, our tech integration specialists, can show you around TeachScape because they have accounts, along with Amanda Ziba at Tomah Middle School and Amanda Zemer at Lemonwire. They've been piloting the use of TeachScape this year, so they would be a great resource to tap into if you have a burning desire to know more about TeachScape right now. In closing, just some food for thought. I'm hoping each of you can find the words which will move you closer to success with the new Educator Effectiveness system. At the start of the year, you were probably saying, I don't know how. Perhaps today you're saying, I think I might. And tomorrow it may be, I think I can. So look at the improvement in your chances of success from 20% to 50% to 70%. And I'm confident that by the end of next year, we will have said, I am and I did. So don't worry. We'll work together and we will successfully implement the new Educator Effectiveness system. Thank you so much for all your hard work and for using language that will move us closer to success.